The Edge at 11 starts now.
Okay, one driver trapped in the U-Haul, difficulty breathing. He's pinned in.
Tonight on The Edge, a race against time in Bloomfield Township. First responders grab a saw and spring into action to rescue a man trapped inside that mangled truck. And we're told the crash is a result of a bigger problem popping up on Telegraph.
Yeah, the 696 closure causing headaches for drivers and first responders. Our Jessica Dupnek is live in the Fox 2 weather beast driving through Bloomfield Township to show us what's going on. And Jess, so we knew 696 may have had something to do with this. Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, Rube, Taryn, you guys both travel along Telegraph here in Oakland County. And since 696 has closed, it's forced people on routes that they're not used to. It's created a headache with traffic. And one of these crashes that we're talking about, you just saw some video there. First responders along this Telegraph corridor, they can't even believe that guy survived. Take a look at this rescue.
Is he okay?
The driver wasn't. You can actually hear his labored breathing on this police body cam.
Okay, one driver trapped in the U-Haul, difficulty breathing.
There was just inches away from that individual being crushed, probably fatally.
30 years, and Lieutenant Ed Leitz with Bloomfield Township Fire says this is the worst driver compartment entrapment he's seen. Early Saturday morning, the U-Haul smashed into the back of the Amazon semi-truck.
This guy allegedly zoned out.
The Amazon driver felt the impact, tried to get to safety, but did not realize the U-Haul was literally attached.
When he pulled off and got out of his truck, he realized that he was actually dragging the U-Haul truck.
Pulled him 200 feet before stopping off Telegraph near Lone Pine.
There were innocent bystanders who were involved in this crash. Parts of the vehicle flew off, hit their car, and actually deployed the airbag.
Police and fire got to work. They used the jaws of life for about 25 minutes while a paramedic smashed himself inside and tried to get that driver any help he could.
Nice and easy, guys. Careful. Nice and easy.
Out with just minor injuries. Unreal.
Since May 1st, we're at about 100 traffic crashes, 105 about, and about 22 to 25 of those have included injuries, and some of them multiple injuries on the scene.
And those numbers coincide with 696 closing down, driving drivers on alternate routes, clogging up otherwise smooth sailing here in Bloomfield Township.
Our neighborhoods are complaining. Telegraph's been a nightmare. Our mile roads are a nightmare.
Chief says even more of a reason to pay attention on the roads right now.
We need you to slow down. Please pay attention.
Back out here live in the Fox 2 Weather Beast along Telegraph in Bloomfield Township. Now, there was a passenger inside that U-Haul. He made it out okay, and I can't believe that the driver, minor injuries there. The Amazon driver also not hurt, but very shaken up when you talk about driving that U-Haul, dragging it 200 feet. Just pretty crazy situation, but wonderful rescue. I urge you to listen to the chief there. Allow yourself some time. When we're frustrated out here on these roads, we tend to make some jerky movements. You're distracted by trying to find a different route. Just take it slow. You may end up like that U-Haul driver. Reporting live in Bloomfield Township, Jessica Dupnek on The Edge.
Yeah, Jess, you heard the Chief Gallagher there say that it was perhaps allegedly zoning out for that U-Haul driver. We're so glad that that driver's okay. But all of us have to pay more attention. And I drive Telegraph every day coming back and forth to work. To see the number of people on their cell phones is just astounding still. And there are hefty fines that come along with that.
Oh, for sure. And Bluefield Township, they will enforce that. They urged me today. They said stop with the distracted driving. And especially when you're sitting in traffic, they can see exactly what you're doing along Telegraph. So just put the phones away. Give yourself an extra 15, 20 minutes. Just get there safe.
Yeah, again, we're glad that driver will be okay. Jessica Dupnek with that. Good morning here tonight. Thanks for that live report.
And to make it clear, Jessica's a passenger in that vehicle.
Yes.
Not driving.
You always get the emails and the tweets going, why are you letting the reporter in the...
Yeah, she's
in the passenger seat.
Doing her job. All right, 3 kids from Pontiac narrowly escaped serious injuries after a truck plows into their living room over the weekend.
Their only escape, the window. Fox 2's Dave Spencer has more on what happened.
Boarded up single-room flat apartment at the end of the intersection of Starlight and Cherry Hill in Pontiac indicate that this is the scene of the crash.
You can still even see where the grass marks where she drove in the grass right into the house.
Maya Edwards lives across the street from this apartment and heard what happened before she saw it.
Me and my fiance heard the skirt, then we heard boom. So we immediately hopped up. We looked out our window and we saw the car literally hit the building.
This was around 12:30 Saturday morning when that pickup hit the apartment. According to the sheriff's office, 2 10-year-olds and a 13-year-old were inside at the time and had minor injuries from flying debris following the crash. They were in gathering some items and planned to come right back to their babysitter's house right across the street when the truck hit. They managed to escape through the apartment's window.
And they were just devastated. They were hurt. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe my house looks like this.
After the crash, a crowd started to gather.
She's trying to reverse out of the building in the truck. From that point, she figured out she can't, so she hopped out with her dog and took off running that way with her dog.
Neighbors not letting the driver get far.
People in the neighborhood ended up catching the woman over there and held her down until the police got here.
And before the suspected driver was taken away?
When they caught the woman, the parents had pulled up and she was talking trash to the mom, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy. You just hit her house, and you're like telling her like, you don't even know me, and I'm like, well, she's about to know everything about you because you just hit her house.
The suspected driver, a 36-year-old woman from Pontiac, was arrested and charged with operating while intoxicated. However, she was released pending the results of that toxicology test. In Pontiac, Dave Spencer on The Edge.
I'm gonna miss her badly. She was a very sweet, happy, loving mother.
A mother mourning the loss of her 32-year-old daughter, Caitlin Ellison. Caitlin was a pregnant mother of 3. She was killed by an alleged drunk driver in Monroe County Saturday night. 24-year-old Hunter Suto from Ohio was accused of speeding and sideswiping Caitlin's car, causing her to flip multiple times. She and her unborn baby were both killed. Now Caitlin's 13-year-old daughter, Riley, is trying to keep what's left of the family together.
It's unbelievable, you know, that I don't have any more parents. My father passed away when I was like 3. I promised my mother when I was right next to her saying goodbye, I promised her that I would take care of her babies.
Wow, if you would like to donate to Caitlin's children, we have a link to their GoFundMe. It's on our website, fox2detroit.com.
Wow, she's such an angel, that little girl, and she's trying to figure out how the future will look without her mom.
I feel for her.
Thinking of all of them. A Roseville man accused of beating his roommate to death during an argument over Taco Bell pleads no contest to manslaughter.
And that means 54-year-old Mark Newsom is accepting the punishment, but not admitting to the crime.
Prosecutors say he killed his roommate Dale Mitchell at a group home in Roseville after they got into a fight last January. Newsom accused his roommate of stealing his food, leading to the fatal fight. He agreed to serve a 5 to 15-year sentence and will learn his fate next month.
After months of going back and forth in court, a pro-Palestinian protester is at peace tonight.
Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel formally dropping all charges against the University of Michigan student. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin with the story.
The remaining charges against pro-Palestinian demonstrator Sammy Lewis have been dismissed. That's the word from her lawyer. Lewis, a University of Michigan student, was arrested during last May's die-in protest on campus, one organized, they say, in solidarity with Gaza, as protesters demanded U of M administrators break away from Israeli-linked interests. She was one of 7 demonstrators who saw their trespassing and resisting or obstruction of police charges dismissed weeks ago by Attorney General Dana Nessel's office and reacted to the news on The Pulse.
I found out as I was first arriving to court, one of my co-defendants texted that there was good news. Once we got to the courtroom and met our attorneys, that's when we realized that it was true, and we just felt a lot of relief and joy.
Attorney General Nessel said in a statement that while she stood by her initial charging decisions, she no longer believed pursuing the cases would be a prudent use of her department's time, also noting how divisive the cases have become. Lewis says she never believed she was in the wrong in the first place when taking part in the die-in.
I think that we all had the right to be there and the right and responsibility to protest.
We did reach out to the Attorney General's office for a comment on this matter, and while we haven't heard back tonight, a previous statement did say baseless and absurd allegations of bias only fueled the divide that had been going on throughout this entire time. That statement, again, justifying why, in the words of the Attorney General, the charges were dropped. In Ann Arbor, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Well, get used to it. Sounds like the weather's going to be pretty soggy over the next couple of days and cool, too.
The prompter was damp, and you wouldn't say it. Oh, all right, but there could be some.
Mixing it up.
I know, you got to. It's just going to be messy out there. Relief on the horizon from rain, we hope. Rich?
Yes, we're going to dry out nicely for the holiday weekend, but for the next couple days, we have this low-pressure system spinning out near Chicago, and you can see quite a bit of rain this evening for us. Some heavier storms down in central Indiana. We do not have severe weather in the forecast for us. There's some action around Fort Wayne with some thunder there, but for us, it's simply too cool for anything but just plain old rain. You can see this axis of heavier rain is shifting off to the north and east, up there around Leonard and Romeo, Armada, getting some heavy downpours. Also right over Lake St. Clair. How about live pictures from Mount Clemens? The rain is continuing on the east side. The numbers today show 56 and 41. That's it for today. There's your rainfall total, just a bit under 0.2 of an inch, but it is cool and damp out there right now. 47 Lansing, 50 in Windsor, 46 to our north in Lapeer. That breeze from the north and east adds a further chill when you step outside. 45s for Ludington and Marquette, 51 in Chicago. I think you get the point. It's going to be cool and unsettled as this low pressure area slowly works across the Great Lakes. The good thing is severe weather is not a big part of the forecast. There may be some stronger storms for the mid-Atlantic tomorrow. For us, it's going to be occasional showers tonight, occasional showers tomorrow. Now, less in the way of rainfall for Thursday and Friday, but still shower chances. How about the weekend? 65 Saturday, close to 70 Sunday. And there it is, Memorial Day Monday, a dry day, and 70. Rupen Taryn, another check at 4 a.m.
All right, Rich, thank you. 26 graduates are celebrating tonight after completing the Southfield Police Department's Citizens Police Academy.
The 9-week program offers insight into how police officers perform their duties and serve the community. Residents also learned about criminal investigations, use of force, traffic stops, and firearm safety. Our very own news content editor, Constance Wynn, or Connie as we call her, is among the graduates.
I thought it was really amazing how in-depth this all was. Each week was something different and hands-on, but also like a class setting.
They see themselves in police officer scenarios, and they'll now learn how this job is very difficult, having to have the ability to make split-second decisions at a moment's notice.
The Southfield Police Department is accepting applications for the next Citizens Police Academy class. Congratulations to Connie and, of course, the rest of her class.